Stop believing the China exit story. If you think foreign companies are permanently leaving China for other hubs, you are wrong. The hidden truth is surprising. Overseas clients are moving chip orders back to China. China's top chipmaker, SMIC, just confirmed this. 14 nanometers and 28 nanometers chip demand jumped 23% year over year, with over a third of new demand from former overseas shifters. Why? Lower total costs. China's finished chip landed cost is still 12% lower than competitors. Faster production. China's full chip ecosystem turns orders around in 7 days, versus 21 days in Mexico. Third, geopolitical calculus changed. Western brands grew tired of long-term policy volatility. Many built China Plus One facilities to hedge restrictions, but now those extra sites only drain profits. Companies are cutting excess capacity and shifting volume back to cut losses. The de-risking strategy pushed by Western governments for years is hitting major setbacks. I even bought into the narrative too. I was wrong. China's chip industry remains powerful despite years of restrictions. Most exit announcements are just for politics. Diversification hides massive costs. Ecosystem scale beats political pressure every time. Let's start with what SMIC actually is. China's largest and most advanced chip maker. Today's big breaking news. Foreign clients are shifting their orders back. To understand this shift, we go back a few years. For over a decade, Western companies followed China Plus One, a strategy to cut dependence on Chinese manufacturing. They moved huge production volumes to Vietnam, India, Thailand, and Mexico. But that trend is now reversing for advanced chip orders. And old claims companies would never return are already wrong. First, overall costs are far lower in China. Its full manufacturing ecosystem remains the most efficient on Earth. After years of trying to replicate it elsewhere, companies hit a wall. Shipping, quality control, and infrastructure gaps make China Plus One much more expensive. Second, China's fully integrated supply chains deliver far faster turnarounds, even for last-minute changes that other nations cannot match. Right now, SMIC is ramping up production capacity to meet this returning demand. What looked like a permanent China exit has become a quiet homecoming for chip orders. Two key factors explain the strong recent growth of Chinese chipmaker SMIC, driven by global shifts and policy changes. First, years of US-China trade tension pushed many global companies to conclude that leaving China carries bigger risks than staying. China has the world's most complete supply chain and an unmatched large consumer market that firms cannot afford to lose. More companies stay and expand, sending more orders directly to SMIC. Second, Beijing responded to Western de-risking with pro-business reforms, subsidies, tax breaks, and streamlined regulation that kept firms and drew new investment. For SMIC, this turnaround has created a powerful positive growth cycle. When foreign clients first left after export controls, capacity utilization dropped to just 70%, crushing profits. Now it's jumped to over 90% as clients return. Higher utilization spreads fixed costs across more chips, lowering per-unit costs. Lowering per-unit costs boosts margins, which fund more R&D and upgrades that attract even more clients. Most surprisingly, the Western de-risking and export controls designed to slow China's chip industry have actually accelerated its progress. Cutting off access to advanced foreign equipment and materials made clients nervous, but this pressure forced China to rapidly develop domestic alternatives for every part of the supply chain. Today, SMIC is far more independent, competitive, and growing faster than almost anyone predicted just 3 years ago. The policy meant to cripple the industry ended up strengthening it. Let's step back and examine this from a full geopolitical perspective. First, we must answer one simple question. What exactly is de-risking? It is a deliberate strategy, crafted by Western governments. The core goal is to cut heavy reliance on Chinese manufacturing and global supply chains, with 3 clear targets: avoid shocks, prevent halts, and stop sensitive tech leaks. But right now, the strategy is facing a major setback. Recent news from SMIC makes one thing clear. De-risking is not working. Companies are not permanently leaving China, as Western politicians claimed. In fact, a growing number are choosing to return after billions in US taxpayer subsidies failed to lure advanced chip manufacturing away from China. This reveals a counterintuitive truth few politicians will admit. De-risking is far harder. Global supply chains cannot be rebuilt overnight, and China holds major structural advantages. 3 hidden truths most pundits won't tell you about China's chip manufacturing. Let's cut through the noise. First up, the China exit narrative trap. For 5 years, headlines scream every foreign firm is leaving, but manufacturing shifts never happen overnight. They creep, and can reverse just as easily. SMIC gives hard proof of that reversal. Don't buy into a permanent trend from lazy repeated headline. Second, the real cost of de-risking. It sounds great on political debate stages, polls well, and looks perfect on campaign flyers. But what does it actually do for your bottom line? It brings higher raw material costs, slower production lines, and clunkier, less efficient supply chains. Global companies are crunching numbers now, and they've found the risks of staying are far smaller than the costs of leaving. Third, the capacity utilization lever almost no one watches. SMIC's profits aren't just tied to total orders. They depend heavily on how much existing factory space they actually use. A small order bump becomes a huge net profit jump. When clients return, it's not just symbolic. It's an immediate, tangible win. Watch utilization rates. They tell the real story. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Like and subscribe for more straight talk chip industry myth busting. See you next time.